My dear friends, my brothers and sisters, most people think their future is decided by one big moment, one lucky break, one viral idea, one big connection. That's a lie we tell ourselves so we can stay lazy today. Your future isn't decided by one dramatic event. It's decided by boring, tiny daily choices you make when nobody's watching, especially the ones you think don't matter. My name is Muniba Mazari, and I am a motivational speaker. If you are new at my channel, subscribe and start a new journey with me. Think about this. Two people wake up in the same city, same phone, same internet, same 24 hours. 10 years later, one is living a life they once dreamed about, and the other is still saying, "I'm just waiting for the right time." Today, I'll walk you through 6 of them, 6 simple decisions you make every single day that quietly vote for the future version of you. You don't need to get all 6 right today. You just need to notice them. If you get this wrong, nothing else works. The first daily choice is this. Do you choose comfort or do you choose growth every morning? This choice shows up wearing pajamas. The alarm goes off and your brain immediately negotiates like a lawyer. 5 more minutes. I'll start tomorrow. I worked hard yesterday. I deserve rest. Comfort is very convincing. Comfort sounds reasonable. Comfort feels smart. But comfort has a hidden price tag and it charges interest every year. I once met a young employee who told me, "I want to be successful, but I don't like pressure." I smiled and said, "Then you don't want success, you want a vacation." Look at how people actually live. After work, one person collapses onto the couch, scrolling, watching other people live. The other opens a laptop, reads, learns, builds something small. Not for hours, sometimes just 30 minutes. Same tiredness, same stress, different future. People love to say successful people are special. When Kobe Bryant finished team practice, he stayed back alone, shooting hundreds of extra shots while others went home. Years later, people called him disciplined. Motivational. When Elon Musk was building his early companies, he slept in offices, worked weekends, and learned engineering concepts he didn't need to learn but chose to. Later, people called him lucky. And here's the funny part. People say they're too busy to grow, but somehow they're never too busy to binge a Netflix show, scroll for an hour, or complain about life. Let me make this very practical. Growth doesn't mean suffering. It means choosing slightly harder over slightly easier. Instead of watching another Netflix episode, you watch one video that teaches you a skill. Instead of gossiping, you ask one smart question. Instead of avoiding the task you started badly, you lean into it. Ask yourself this question every day, especially when you're tired. Is this helping me grow or just helping me avoid? One choice, every day. Comfort or growth? Make the wrong choice once nothing happens. Make it daily, everything happens. If you keep choosing comfort today, one day you'll wake up and realize your life became very comfortable and very small. This is only the first choice. And tomorrow morning, when that alarm rings, you'll be voting again. The second daily choice is quieter but more dangerous than the first. Every day, you choose who you blame. Most people don't notice they're making this choice. It happens automatically, almost like breathing. When something goes wrong, the brain looks for comfort again, and blame is very comfortable. My boss doesn't appreciate me. The system is unfair. I didn't have the right background. The economy is bad. All of these might be true, and that's exactly why they're so dangerous. Because the moment you blame something outside yourself, you give away control. And whatever you give control to controls your future. Here's the hard truth. Nobody likes to hear, the world does not reward fairness. It rewards responsibility. The moment you say, "This is my fault," even when it's not fully true, something powerful happens. Your brain stops complaining and starts searching for solutions. Let me make this real. 2 people lose their job. The first one says, "My company was toxic. My manager was terrible. I was unlucky." The second one says, "Okay, what skill do I lack? What can I learn? How do I make sure this never happens again?" Same event, different future. One stays stuck telling a good story. One's dangerous. Look at famous examples. When Jeff Bezos failed with early experiments, he didn't say, "People don't get my idea." He said, "I don't understand customers well enough yet." When Michael Jordan lost playoff games early in his career, he didn't blame teammates or referees. He blamed his preparation. That's why he came back obsessed and unbeatable. Blame feels fair. Ownership feels unfair. But unfair ownership is how power is built. And here's the funny thing. The moment you stop blaming, people around you change. Opportunities appear faster. Mentors respect you more. Even luck seems to increase. Why? Because responsible people are safe to invest in. Nobody wants to give opportunities to someone who explains why it won't work. Now listen carefully, this is important. Taking responsibility does not mean hating yourself. It means trusting yourself. It means saying, if this is my problem, then I can fix it. Blame says, I'm a victim. Responsibility says, I'm a player, and players can win. Every day, this choice shows up in tiny moments. You miss a deadline, do you blame time or fix your system? Your content doesn't perform, do you blame the platform or improve the craft? You feel stuck. Do you blame motivation or build discipline? Nobody is coming to save you. And that's not sad, that's powerful. Because if nobody is coming, then you are enough. Your future version isn't begging you to be right. It's begging you to be responsible. Now listen closely, because this third choice is where most people quietly destroy their future without realizing it. Every day, you choose what you pay attention to. Attention is your real currency, not money, not time. Attention. You can always make more money. You can never get back wasted attention. Yet people spend it like it's worthless. Bad news, drama, someone arguing with someone they'll never meet, a lifestyle they can't afford, a body they don't have, a life that makes theirs feel small. And before the day even starts, their mind is already tired. Here's the joke, people say, I don't have energy. No, you gave it away before breakfast. Let me make it simple. If you feed your mind chaos, don't be surprised when your life feels chaotic. I've met people who know every celebrity scandal, every trending topic, every online argument, but don't know how to improve one skill that could change their income. That's not being informed, that's being distracted. Look at high performers, not what they say, but what they ignore. When Warren Buffett was asked about his daily routine, he said he spends most of his time reading and thinking and ignores almost everything else. People thought that was boring. That boredom built billions. When Bill Gates was younger, he disappeared for long stretches just to read and think deeply. No social media, no noise. Later, people called it vision. No, it was protected attention. And look at LeBron James. He didn't just train his body, he controlled his inputs. What he listened to, what he watched, who he listened to. That focus kept him elite for decades. Now, here's the relatable part. You don't need monk-level discipline. You need awareness. Every day, ask yourself, is this information making me better or just making me feel something? Feeling informed is not the same as being improved. Doom scrolling feels active, learning feels slow. 1 hour focused learning per day sounds small, but 1 year later, you're unrecognizable. Meanwhile, 1 hour of random content per day gives you strong opinions and weak results. Choose your inputs, or they will choose you. Your phone is not the enemy, unfiltered attention is. Every day, you're building an internal world, and whatever you feed it eventually becomes your external life. This choice feels small, but over time it decides whether your mind becomes a weapon or a playground for distractions. Protect your attention. Your future depends on it. We get to the fourth choice, and this one is sneaky because it's invisible until it's too late. Every day, you choose what stories you tell yourself. Humans are storytelling machines. Your brain is constantly narrating life like a movie, and the script you run quietly shapes your future more than any big decision ever will. Here's what I mean. 2 people fail at the same thing. One says, I'm a failure. I'm not cut out for this. Why even try? The other says, this is feedback. I can learn. I'll adjust and try again. Same event, different story, completely different future. Most people never move forward because their inner narrator is their biggest enemy. I'm too old. I'm too young. People like me don't succeed. I'll start tomorrow. And the funny part, they believe it. They act it. Then they look around years later and wonder why nothing changed. When Thomas Edison failed thousands of times trying to create the light bulb, he didn't tell himself, I'm a failure. His story was, I've discovered another way that doesn't work. When Michael Jordan was cut from his high school varsity team, his story wasn't, I'm not talented. It was, I'll outwork everyone. That story built obsession. Obsession built greatness. And look at J.K. Rowling, rejected by publishers, broke, single parent. Her story wasn't, this proves I'm finished. It was "This story deserves to exist" created Harry Potter. Your story works the same way, just on a smaller stage at first. And here's the dangerous truth. Most people's stories are borrowed. Borrowed from parents, borrowed from teachers, borrowed from culture, borrowed from social media, and borrowed stories are usually small, fearful, and limiting. If you want a different future, you must write your own story. Every morning, there's a quiet voice in your head explaining who you are and what's possible. Ask yourself, is this story lifting me or chaining me? The great ones, creators, leaders, innovators, don't wait for life to give them a better story. They decide on one. And yes, people say this sounds soft. Change your story, they laugh. I need money. I need results. But results always follow story. If your story says, I'll never make it, you avoid risk, sabotage yourself, and quit early. If your story says, I can figure this out, you experiment, adapt, and persist. So today, notice the script playing in your head, and if it's not helping you, rewrite it slowly, deliberately, one line at a time. Because your life isn't just happening to you, it's being narrated by you. Let's dive into the fifth daily choice. And this one is a total game changer because it's almost invisible, yet it controls your results more than most people realize. Every day you choose whether you make promises to yourself and keep them. Sounds simple, right? But notice how many people treat their own word like it doesn't matter. I'll start tomorrow. I'll eat healthy next week. I'll work on my project later. And later never comes. Every time you break a promise to yourself, your confidence takes a tiny hit. You don't notice it, but it adds up. You're literally training your mind that your word doesn't matter. And if your word doesn't matter, guess what? Nothing else does either. Opportunities, relationships, money, they all follow the energy of reliability. Think about real examples. When Elon Musk was building his companies, he didn't succeed because of motivation. He made brutal promises to himself to work when it was uncomfortable, when he was exhausted, when failure was staring him in the face. And he kept them, day after day. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo. He didn't become elite by feeling like training. He showed up on the days he didn't feel like it. Same promise, kept repeatedly. That's why his confidence looks unbreakable, because it's built on evidence. And the same pattern shows up with creators and entrepreneurs everywhere. The most successful ones aren't just talented, they have an invisible backbone. They keep their word to themselves, even in tiny things. And that's where this starts. It can be ridiculously small. You say, I'll wake up at 6 a.m., and you do. You say, I'll write for 30 minutes, and you do. You say, not because of luck, not because of motivation, because you became someone who trusts themselves. Here's the kicker. Most people treat their word to themselves like it's optional. They wouldn't break a promise to their boss. They wouldn't break a promise to a client. But they break promises to themselves daily and wonder why they feel weak. The moment you treat your word like a contract, everything changes. You take bigger risks because you know you'll follow through. You move faster because you don't debate yourself. And others start trusting you too. Don't underestimate the power of tiny promises. They are the quiet decisions that separate people who dream from people who actually achieve. So today, ask yourself one simple question. What promise can I make to myself right now and actually keep? Make it small. Make it undeniable. Because your future self isn't waiting for your talent or your ideas. Your future self is waiting for you to be reliable to yourself first, before anyone else. Now we reach the sixth daily choice. And this one decides whether everything you've heard so far actually changes your life, or just becomes another video you liked and forgot. Every day, you choose whether you show up consistently, or only when you feel like it. This is where most people quietly fail. Not because they don't understand, not because they lack ideas, but because they confuse motivation with identity. They say, I'll do it when I feel motivated. I'll be consistent when life calms down. I'll go all in when I'm ready. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Winners don't show up because they feel like it. They show up because that's who they are. Consistency is not an action, it's an identity. You don't brush your teeth because you're motivated. You do it because that's who you are. That's how powerful this choice is. Most people try to add discipline to their life. They should be becoming disciplined people. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. When Stephen King was building his career, he didn't wait for inspiration. He wrote every single day. Good days, bad days, tired days. Some days were terrible, he still wrote. That's why he has hundreds of millions of readers. Not because every page was perfect, but because the habit was non-negotiable. When Jerry Seinfeld was building his career, he used one simple rule: write jokes every single day. Good days, bad days, no inspiration, just consistency. That's how ordinary effort turned into extraordinary mastery. Now bring this back to your life. The reason consistency feels hard is because you're negotiating with yourself every day. Should I do it? Maybe later. Not today. The moment you stop debating and start identifying, the energy shifts. You don't ask, should I work on my skill today? You say, I'm the kind of person who works on their skill. End of discussion. This is where all 6 choices come together. You choose growth over comfort. You choose ownership over blame. You protect your attention. You control your inner story. You keep your promises. And now you show up no matter what. Not perfectly, not loudly, just consistently. You control your promises, and not what is one thing I will do every day, no matter what, because that's who I am now. Choose one. Protect it. Repeat it. Because the people who change their life are not the most motivated. They are the ones who decided who they are, and then proved it to themselves every single day. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to like and subscribe, my dear.